Hi, I'm Lola Aneke and I welcome you to Speed Dial on Finding Help with Special Needs. So it's still Better Speech and Hearing Month as declared by Asha. So today I'll be talking to us about a few early intervention tips for managing stuttering. I'll be talking to us about stuttering, disfluency, and fluency. Now, what's fluency? Fluency is a smooth flow of words. So if I were to say the word I am a Yoruba lady, I said those words without any error. Okay? There was no repetition of any of the word. That's fluency. Now this fluency is the break in the smooth flow of words or and sentences. So I'll take that again. This fluency is a break in the smooth flow of words and sentences. So if we were to say a word like the baby drank the milk, and I go the baby drank the milk. Every of the syllable in that word was broken. I repeated some words, and the sentence did not flow smoothly. That is disfluency. Now, if this is frequent, that is, if the act of repeating words and not saying what clearly is frequent, that is disfluency. Now, disfluency could be the repetition, prolonging of the initial words in a sentence. So I could say baby. That initial sound in the word baby. Remember, the word baby has two syllables. If I say baby, that's disfluency. If I say soup, that is disfluency. If I say things like the baby drank the milk, that is disfluency. And this often occurs to young kids who are learning to use words, who are learning to say words. Maybe they've never heard the word before, or they're trying to understand how many syllables are in a word and how many words forms a sentence, or the word is new to them. This happens a lot with children, and most times they outgrow it. But for stuttering is disfluency and much more. So I'll be saying some signs of stuttering when there's a frequent repetition and prolonging of the initial words in the sentence, or the initial sound in a word. That's a sign of stuttering. When there's a tightness in the muscle of speech for speaking, the speech muscles, that's a sign of stuttering. When there's a change in the tone or the loudness of your voice, that's a sign of stuttering. So for example, if I'm going to say the baby drank the milk, I was trying to get the word milk out, and then the intonation, my voice, the loudness of my voice was raised. That's a sign of stuttering. Also, if there's a fear, so maybe I wanted to say a word, you could say fear, I'm sweating, I'm fidgeting, that's a sign of stuttering. Stuttering can be lifelong, and it can also it can go into extinction by itself. So an individual can outgrow stuttering, and it's also possible for that individual to live on and on with stuttering. It could be a lifelong disability. One of the reasons why stuttering could be a lifelong disability is the fact that external factors affect that person's ability to speak clearly. So sometimes when we see people stuttering, we laugh at them, we keep correcting them, we shut them off, we don't let them speak the way they are comfortable with. That could be added to the level at which the stuttering could affect them. Today I'll be sharing about 6 tips. There are 6 tips I have for us today on early interventions strategy for managing stuttering. So I'll be sharing 6 tips, 6 early intervention tips for managing stuttering. The first tip I'll be sharing with us is to allow the individual, the stutterer, to finish their words and sentences without interrupting them. So if it's a child, an adult, allow this individual to finish their sentences without interrupting them. When we do that, when we interrupt them, when we don't let them finish what they're trying to say. So for example, the person was going to say, I want water, because you know that the person's near the water, I just interrupt and say, you want water, right? You're not doing that person any good. The person will just go mute on you, and we don't want them to stop talking. We want them to continue talking. The second tip I'll be sharing with us on early intervention tips for managing stuttering is to avoid criticism. Avoid criticism such as saying stop it or take your time. Nobody is pushing you. It's your time. Take your time. Think about what you want to say before you talk. When you do that with a stutterer, you're not doing that person any good. Okay. The third tip is to model the correct pattern of speaking, which is to speak slowly and deliberately. So if a person was going to talk to me and says, who wants water? I could say, oh, I see. You want water, right? You say it slowly and say it the correct way, okay? So that the person can more or less follow what you're saying. So you are a model to the person. So the person sees you, experience the way you're speaking, and the person begins to speak with like that before you know it. Now, a good tip is also to gradually increase the length of the sentence the person is speaking. So I'll take the example of I want water. You might want the person to just keep using the word want water. And then as the person progresses with using the word want water without any error or any sign of stuttering, you might now want to introduce I want water. Another good strategy or tip is to stretch the beginning word of the sentence. So you might want to say, I want water, or give me water. Give will be straight by saying, give me water. Research has shown that for stutterers, if they stretch the beginning word of a sentence, the possibility of them stuttering throughout the sentence is very low. So give me water. My name is Lola. The last tip I'll be sharing with us is that we need to engage the service of a speech therapist. So I wouldn't want us to assume that Lola has shared with us some strategies to help individuals with that are stuttering or stutterers. So as a parent, as an inclusive educator, please do not quote me by saying these are the ways you must help a stutterer. It's very important for us to engage the services of a professional, which is the speech therapist. So I'll quickly do a recap on the tips for the early intervention tips for managing stuttering. The first thing is to allow the person to finish their sentences without interruption. The second tip is to avoid criticism such as saying stop it, take your time, think about what you want to say before saying it. The third tip is to model the correct pattern of speech, okay, like by speaking slowly and deliberately to the person. The fourth tip is to gradually increase the sentence length and complexity. The fifth tip is to easily to stretch the words, the beginning words in the sentence. And the sixth tip is to engage the service of a speech therapist. Thank you for watching this video, and please do not forget to look out for some of my trainings that will be coming up in the next couple of days. I look forward to seeing you some other time. Bye bye.